results are in. It's been about 3 weeks. There's been a delay in new episodes, and I apologize, but ran into some difficulty. Um, Within the first 2 weeks, I thought I had gained 10 pounds, but turns out I was using two different scales, and the first scale was saying I was at 165. The other scale was saying I was at 169, and I didn't know which was which, but I went with the one at home that I was using, and it's according to that, my weight did not actually go any. I didn't get any heavier really. It looked like it fluctuated, but it didn't fluctuate. It just stayed the same really. So to be honest, this diet is not working for me. It's just not working. Maybe it's my metabolism. Maybe it's not intaking enough food, but I'm still doing it. I'm still I'm still eating it, but I'm also eating other food. I'm eating Taco Bell and burgers, all sorts of different foods, and I'm eating a lot of food. I'm not really doing any workouts. I'm still doing sumo stretches and leg stretches, but I still love this sumo soup recipe. You could throw any kind of vegetable you want in there, any kind of meat, and it just all the calories and proteins all get absorbed in the liquids, and when you drink the liquids, it's pretty much a protein juice or soup. And it's so much easier to digest that way. I can't recommend this enough. Oh, and one thing I discovered, well, I already knew this, but I rediscovered it while Googling and doing research on sumo wrestling. That, well, it's the age old magnetism of pro wrestling. For some reason, pro wrestling always has some kind of a magnetic hold on me, and everything ties back into it. There are so many sumo wrestlers that turned into pro wrestlers throughout history. And the one that sticks out the most in my mind is Ricky Dozan. He started out as a sumo. He was a Korean. He was a Japanese Korean that was in the. He was a sumo, and he got involved in the pro wrestling business, and he is known as the godfather of Purerusu, translated pro wrestling in Japanese. And another one, this man I've actually met. He's a very nice man with a very tough reputation. Was actually there's two of them. The first one though is Haku, aka Ming. He was a sumo. So was a barbarian, and they both told me their stories. Actually, barbarian was the one that told me that they were chosen from the island of Tonga to go train for sumo in Japan. And the story was after their the head of the sumo ring that they were, or I forget what it's called, the sumo household, the sumo dojo that they were in. When the head died, uh, they had a disagreement with the new head of the dojo, and so they all left. They all left that dojo and got picked up by, I believe it was New Japan or All Japan, and trained in the strong style for pro wrestling. And oh, not just that. There's another one. This guy is he's a Canadian guy, and he was undefeated in the world of sumo. And he went on to have an actual WWF sumo match with Yokozuna, and he won. It was John Tenta Earthquake. He was also involved in sumo. Not just that, but perhaps the first undefeated foreigner in Japan for sumo. And this funny story of that is they didn't allow any tattoos under the sumo wrestlers, so he had a tattoo of I believe it was a bear on his arm, and he had to have it covered up. He had to cover it up while he had his sumo matches. And there were so many others out there that were unknown because they never made it out of the Japanese wrestling circuit, perhaps. Or, but perhaps the most recent one to date, you might have heard of him, is Aki Bono. He's been involved in various promotions and organizations. He was in a lot of MMA fights, to be honest. He probably didn't do too good from what I remember. He had some matches that he lost to smaller guys, but he was also in another WWE main event against the Big Show in the modern day sumo match. So there you go, folks. There's some strong ties, sumo wrestling with professional wrestling. So many similar ties and parallel upbringings. In a lot of ways, it seems like sumo wrestling is pro wrestling, perhaps a shoot style form of it that dates back centuries. So, on that note, I don't know if I should continue this diet. I I look like I'm bloated all the time, just in my stomach area, my abdominal area, but I still have skinny arms and legs. That's how I am naturally. I've always been like that. It's been hard to put on weight, my arms and legs, but for some reason I've always had this big old pot belly, and I thought maybe if I fill up the rest of me, then I'd actually look proportional. So sad to say, this might be the very last episode of the sumo diet. What a sad, sad end. At least we had one episode. Two episodes. This is the second. So we had two episodes, folks. This is the end of the sumo diet. Only after two episodes, we've been canceled, been unsuccessful in being picked up by a sponsor, and it's such a sad ending. Oh, maybe it was meant to be. People aren't meant to have these kind of diets. Well, they are. Athletes. This is an athletic based diet. Can you believe that? It's most diets are meant to help you lose weight. This diet is meant to help you gain weight, girth, and mass. And it's actually a lot harder to do this diet than to lose weight. But at least I tried. And I don't know if I should accept this as a failure. Maybe I have to take a different approach. Go about it in other ways. Maybe take supplements. There's lots of supplements out there to be rediscovered. I stopped taking supplements years and years ago. And that's not to knock anybody that does take supplements. They're very helpful. They work. But what I do recommend, if you plan to take supplements, please do your research. Know what you're taking. Know what you're putting in your body. And you have to monitor it. Monitor it closely and watch for results. But after all this, I must admit I'm still trying to reflect on what I could do different with this diet that will actually make it work. Perhaps it's consistency because I am a working man. I do go to work. I have a strange alternative schedule. It's not the everyday type of work. It's actually every couple days type of work. So maybe that's what's throwing it off. I'm not getting a consistent. I'm not on a consistent schedule. So I'm just making do of what I actually have. Another thing I could do different is the exercise. Uh, I don't exercise as much as I should be exercising. I'm not even lifting weights. But this one thing I've really learned from this is discipline. You have to be disciplined to continue some kind of a program, any kind of program. That's what martial arts actually instills in a lot of martial artists is that discipline. Any system, kung fu, karate, um, mixed martial arts, jeet kune do. I consider pro wrestling a martial art. I really do, because it's a discipline. That's where I learned most of my discipline. It's a code that it's followed religiously, really, just like every other martial art. And that, to summarize it all up, it's basically to stay fit and stay mobile. A lot of the training involved is basically building a foundation for building a warrior. You you do all that suffering, all that pain. You sacrifice a lot, and you do it for preparing yourself for battle. You build your armor, you choose your weapon, and you prepare for battle. That's what it's all about. Wow, what a beautiful metaphor I just created there. Do you see what I did? I just made this into a metaphor. End the show with the metaphor. Everything that we build for is for battle. We prepare ourselves for the future. And that's it for today. Like and subscribe. Even though the show is ending, check out my channel for other shows that that are going to be coming out soon. Thanks for watching.